This falling out of the sky is going to affect everybody across America, all of our families and people. You need to listen closely. But first, you need to look at this right here before I talk about anything next.
Hey, we're camping in this beautiful state park in Texas, and it's been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue. And it's not this tarp, because it's happening on this tarp too. Look at that. This is crazy.
Not a motherfucking blue lake right here. How much would it take for you to drink that water? How much money?
Have you in Texas, have you in California seen this blue rain? Now, coming up next, this ties into something huge because a lot of people are not really seeing this for what it is. And I'm about to break that down for everybody here because there was something said in the bird flu summit that told us what was to come. And I'm going to bring that up, but there was a simple test, Amazon. And remember, this is an Amazon test of what was in the rain. The blue rain, as a matter of fact. And here's, you can see the bottle here from Eddie. And so we appreciate Eddie. The thing is, here, as you look down this list, we can see what is the most of what's in there. And you look through it, lead at 200 parts per million is the highest right now. We got about 10 parts per million of nickel. And then you got carbonite, and the alkalinity was at, pH was 8.2. MPS, let's look into MPS really quick right now, because I looked at that and I was noticing that they put these in pools and spas and stuff like that. But also, if you read up here on screen, this mono persulfate, when reacted with starch indicator solution, will turn deep blue color. There's no starch in there. So I looked even more. I said, okay, how else could it do it? Aluminum in high concentrations can cause reflective scattering in water, creating a bluish, silverish hue, especially when light hits at a certain angles. But there is one key factor, though, that is deeper than both of those two that I just mentioned. And it was at the bird flu summit, because, again, we didn't test for chemicals here. We didn't see anything with chemicals that was being done through Eddie's stuff. But when we look at the bird flu summit, they specifically said mass fatality management planning was going to be coming for their future operations. And then rainwater tech was in another subsection for the chief product officer, Kerry Waters. Why does that need to be talked about during the bird flu summit is the big question here as we go forward with more of what's really going to be going down. Now, they are initiating something through rain. And so, again, that's what it seems like. And when we look at the most recent articles coming out about, 50 states prepare, get ready for the next wave of pandemics, they already announced that. And it seemed like this was the framework for them to lay that down. And remember, bird flu, obviously H5N1, the same thing. So this rain comes out just a little bit after that. We had that fall creature, the entity, come out. Information we've been showing you, microscopic data of that in the last few weeks through Mike Adams and everybody else. Then we got DARPA hitting us with frequency. So where is this really going? And I had to do a deeper dive here with this laboratory that is connected to what's going to be happening in the next phases of the pandemic. And as a matter of fact, it was connected to what happened in the last pandemic. Laboratory is called Sandia National Laboratories, and they're going to play a key role in what's to come. They play biodefense. As a matter of fact, they do hypersonic weapons, they do laser weapons, they do almost anything you can imagine, chemical, biosensors, weird zombie-like cells that they're playing with in the laboratory. And so, again, speaking of that, we're going to go into that right now, because this made me think, if this is what they're doing, How far will they go next? In the comment section right now, I'm checking how many of you have been seeing this blue rain as well. Let me know in the comment section here. I'm looking at your comments, and everybody here has been very much alive and aware of everything going on, giving all the information. So you might want to scroll to the comment section. Now check this out. The same laboratory is replicating zombie cells. They work with DARPA. People have literally transferred from DARPA to go work with them. Bill Gates has funded this laboratory for polio with over $1 million. Listen to this though. Zombie mammalian cells that may function better after they die have been created by researchers at Sandia National Laboratories. Simple technique coats a cell with silica solution to form a near perfect replica. Arbitrary structures haven't been achieved yet, lead researcher said. He added, with this technique, we don't need to build those structures. Nature does it for us. Nature does it for you. So that made me think whenever that fog was dropping and we seen this alien looking creature like with a skeleton in there, that made me think nature does it for them. They could be already adding these cells into whatever is dropping. UN postdoctoral student Jason Townsend said the most immediate use for silicification may be may be a simple way to preserve the structure of organic materials for imaging. Formerly, for internal preservation and subsequent imaging, a cell would be fixed in formaldehyde or some other preservative. But many other methods are labor intensive, Townsend said. This method is simple. The preserved cells will never get sloppy and decay. And when we cracked open the resultant structure, we were blown away by how well the cell was preserved down to the minor grove of the cell's DNA. So we got the laboratory that basically is running the pandemic operations, playing with zombie cells, talking about how we're going to drop this in nature and nature is going to do all this for us. And then we get the blue rain scenario that is happening just as of this week, as of right now. Lots of people coming out with reports talking about how they're seeing this stuff dropping. Somebody says, I'm in Southwestern VA. I will be on the lookout for the blue rain. The main areas right now we've seen it drop in is Texas and supposedly California. So this rainwater tech and these meetings we have at Sandia National Laboratory, they just had before we go into that, guess who approved of these zombie cells or these dead cells? Let's read a little bit more about it. Scientists use silicic, something like that, acid to embalm the mammalian cells and create a near perfect replica of its structure. They believe the zombie cells could be used in commercial manufacturing, including fuel cells or sensor technology, maybe the future of nanotechnology, which they want to go in human bodies as well. Guess who's approved of this, though? Who's approved of this is the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy has approved of it and said, this is a go. We need to do it. This is what they said. Summing it up, it says that may be the first distinction in scientific literature between the mummy cell, zombie cell, he said, approximately to resemble his living self, but the process took place without mineralization. Our zombie cells bridge chemistry, biology to create forms that not only near perfectly resemble their past selves, but can do future work. Work was supported by the Department of Energy Office of Science. And recently, just the Department of Energy, they just had a visit over there where you see right here on screen, Sandia honored during his inaugural Energy National Labor. Again, so some national security meeting happened where they go to this lab where everything starts to kick up, where there's scientific technology, where they're creating a scientific dictatorship. They're creating the X-Files scenario over there. And then you wonder why they came out with this report about the Bush official claims U.S. built secret 21T underground city for rich and powerful to live if near extinction event happens. Y'all ain't gonna live, so y'all can try to go and hide under the ground all you want, but you're gonna get yours, and you can hide wherever you want. But your time is coming. Look at these cells that they're playing with, which they're probably dropping in certain places. It's kind of like, we talked about the xenobots. You can look at this right here. Sandia News Media Contact What's this? This is zombie cell first stage. Only moderately heated. The cell is now pure silica and needed a gold coating for a scanning electron microscope to image it. So before they did that, before the gold coating, they couldn't even see it on the microscope. So it's like invisible for some reason. That's really crazy. Now, zombie cell advanced. This cell was pyrolyzed at 900 C, which means it was like basically heated up. Absence of oxygen leaving the cell, graphitic, carbon, and silica, because the carbon is conductive. The cell, practically identical to its protoplasmic original, doesn't need to be coated in gold to produce a SEM image. So this is what's going on here. Through this scientific process, they're able to alter certain things in the environment, drop certain things. And then when this basically is like organic tissue, except for it lives longer than let's say a person would die and if they had these cells dropped in them. As a matter of fact, it was a predictive programming called Black Summer. Well, what happened was their DNA would be protected. It would be like in a stasis. And then after it goes into that stasis mode, like it could reactivate, I don't know, based on command, based on whatever they would do. This sounds like something out of a movie, but this is exactly what they're working with right now. And then the other thing is that this same laboratory, they're doing something called H6 with DARPA. And what H6 is essentially is they're going underground because the GPS doesn't work very well. And Sandia National Laboratory is working with them to do this. I'm going to try to pull it up for you so you can see here. Try to pull that up. So here's H6. And this is DARPA and Sandia National Laboratory working together. And I'll actually show you because they're working on some technology where once they're underground, like I said, they're responsible. This laboratory is responsible for doing so much stuff. I mean, the first atomic bomb over there was basically blown up somewhere in a hole underground. So you can see right here, they're testing photon lasers. You can see right here, they do deflection experiments for the atmosphere. They're doing a lot of different things here. So what I'm trying to say is the key picture right now for the nanotechnology industry and then the new pandemics, they also run all of that along with DARPA. Here they are right here building something for the underground new GPS, basically, because they're saying that the other GPS that we use, obviously they're not going to be using that and they need to navigate underground. I'm going to pull that up here so we can read a little bit about what they're doing. Thrasher is working with Japanese tech company to build the world's most accurate compact atomic clock. This is what they're called. These clocks, currently about the size of a matchbook, are used in a variety of technologies from backpacks, radios, GPS receivers, underwater sensors, power grids, satellites. Any drift they experience limits the time. These technologies can run on their own without help from reference clock. His project is supported by Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, a program called H6. The Defense Department Research Agency is known for funding high-tech projects in national security. And so Dan Thrasher, he basically was at Sandia National Laboratory, and he was setting up all the lasers, the barium, the ions. Matt Pack says if they need GPS on the ground, then they just admitted the tunnel systems are everywhere, and it's an Earth-wide project. Definitely, that's very interesting you said that, and that means that the navigations that they're going to be used is going to be so specific that even the average GPS system is like a dinosaur system compared to that. Now, moving back into these cells is absolutely insane. If it was put in the fog and it was dropped on people, I read a little bit more about it, and some of them had iron-like coatings as well. So it was some of these iron oxides, which I noticed that when I was studying some of this stuff with the nanotechnology that would reactivate, all of it has some type of iron oxide coating on it. And it's interesting that that is a certain thing that basically helps them out. And I'm not sure what's all in there, but I will find out more about that as it starts to commence. It's getting more advanced now. We have genetically modified parasites with nanotechnology inside of them. So DARPA chipped some of the parasites. So after you get rid of a parasite, you got a chip in it. And we were talking about, okay, so we got to break the coatings down of that parasite. Let's say the parasite is dead, but there is the chip. And the chip is probably not just a normal chip. It may be able to move because it's a nanotechnology. But breaking that down, honestly, is going to be so important to destroy whatever else lingers. Because we're in a sick type of world where they're willing to do whatever is necessary to build their fallen empire, but there will be consequences for the things that they're doing. And so I want to read some of the comments here. Somebody said the zombie replica you was talking about is what's coming. A truth pastor was talking about him in Revelation. God showed him the people dirty looking and acting like zombies. Yeah. So again, here's the thing. We're all alive right now. We're all understanding all this process. But 232 people right now are live here. And if you are here, do me a favor. You hit the thumbs up, you share it out, because the more you do that and the more you guys comment, and I'll tell you another tip, if you just scroll through the comment section, that helps interaction out. When you do that, you comment, you talk, you say stuff as a community, it helps us get this further, because the real key problem is that we're doing the work that needs to be done. We're not sitting up here with AI generated videos. We're doing hours of research. We've been here 8 years doing this. And if you can get this message out and we can get this hyper going, we can get a lot of people to start to understand, like, all right, this is the actual process that's happening. So with these frequencies, they were doing it on Solar Cycle 25, Ouija project that DARPA is currently actively doing. They're doing this under a solar, I'm guessing some type of energy guidance. And we've seen massive energy spikes apparently over these last couple of days. We've seen a huge drop, 50 hertz. And then we've seen power grids go out, and nobody talked about that, but I broke it down how 50 hertz. We also had that happening in islands, which is basically a sonic, it's like a weapon, basically a neural weapon that was being used by the military. That's being used on people in Ireland. They confirmed it. And now the power grid got attenuated at the same type of frequency. The information we're putting out here is basically wow. Because the thing is like, if I'm putting all this out and then it's just sitting on deaf ears, then what's the point here? What is the point? Iron oxide, Jennifer says, iron oxide may be byproduct from Planet X, somebody says. Okay. Not sure 100%. Somebody says, I've been detoxing with zeolite for almost 8 years. Great information, love on earth says. Yes, so whenever I got those parasites I was telling y'all about, it's funny, I used to have dreads like years ago when I had this happen. I was 21. I was so terrified that I cut my hair because, like, I had a dream that the worms was my hair. Because, when you get dreads, they're like twisted things. And I'm like having a dream that my hair was worms, and I'm like freaking out, waking up, literally cutting off all my hair because it was such a nightmare. Because I seen the hookworms. It was crazy. I seen them hooked into me, like, when I looked. And it was the most disgusting thing ever. I'm going to tell you what happened. My immunity ended up getting lowered. So when the immunity get lowered, and so I thought it was ulcers, and now I'm really thinking it through my head. Actually, it probably didn't start off as that, but whenever I took that stuff, they burrowed through my stomach and brought holes into it, and that's what caused that to happen. So after that, I learned all the information possible to never have that happen again. And like I was telling y'all, my family, we all went through it. It was terrifying. That was years ago. Now we're in a new age where obviously I've told y'all about what I've done. I've created the ebook, Backup Emergency Natural Herbal Guide, giving you everything, talking about the herb for Ebola, talking about the herbs for even, during 2020. We researched what actually was the herb that was effective against what people was going through in 2020. We researched so much stuff over the last course of years. If you're looking for that and you're new here, I'm gonna drop that link one more time here for the ebook that I put out here. That's gonna be valuable because this is for when the emergency process happened. Now, another thing is, I was gonna say, sugar starving out a lot of parasites is very important for us to do, because it's not that we eliminate every ounce of sugar. It's just that a lot of the sugar is actually feeding the parasite. So the gluten one was 100% feeding the parasite. I seen it years ago. It was a little documentary on it. Now it's not available anymore. So what I'm saying is, all of this that we're going through right now is basically a process that they've already set up and they've operationally got ready for. The rainwater tech is something that a lot of people here, we don't honestly know 100% what type of new rainwater tech that they're using. But I think through that rainwater tech, and this is my opinion because I studied it, that they were introducing a new organism like virus. And why do I say organism like virus? We've seen already under the microscope what's in there. So we don't know what this thing is going to morph into, but somebody sent me a video of a band called Metallica. And they show exactly what's in here. So I'm going to show you this really quick. Give me just a second to pull up the one video that I've been showing that was just recently in the fog. And then I'll try to go to this Metallica video. And then this was like a predictive program that they was putting out. It's absolutely insane. I got to show it at the same time though, because the person who sent this by email, they were saying, they were telling us years ago that this was coming. And I was like, that's crazy. I just hope it don't turn to whatever this thing is, but it does actually look like it. So I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second. While I'm doing that, I'll let you look at this on screen. A lot of you seen that already, but you ain't seen what I'm about to show you next. So give me a second. I got it right in here. Yep, I'm clicking it right now. This is freaking wild. I'm going to play it with no audio, and then I'm going to go straight to the part here in just a second. Look at that on screen, though. That's in the fog. With some type of zombie cells in it. And now I'm going to show you, okay, on this one. So in this Metallica band video, what happens is they show some toxic snow or something falling. I'm going to go ahead and put it up here because you got to see it from the other side of the camera. The programming that was literally in the band's video. Oh my God. I hope in a couple of weeks that thing doesn't start looking like that, because we're going to have that. We're going to update on that too. So I'm going to go back to the comments really quick. I got to go back to my comments so I can check out what y'all saying about this. I'm going to update in a couple of weeks about this thing that's in the fog too, because it keeps growing. Okay, so I want to see somebody says it has to be the globalists. Yikes. Wow, because they're evil. That thing looked like what we just looked at. It looked like right now the fog creature that we just saw was the baby form before it turned to that. I really hope it don't do that. But the evidence here is just strikingly strange, and it's just too crazy. And they show stuff falling out of the sky. So somebody says, no words. My word, this is beyond disturbing. It really is. It's like everything that's historical can be found in a movie or can be found like predictively programmed to us. And all the freaking history is half lies and is more truth and other stuff you can just go look around and find. Share this out. Oh, timestamp this part. Whenever this part come up, tell people in the comments, this is the part you need to go timestamp, look back at that. That's all in the atmosphere. They're putting this out. That's why I was saying cleansing our body, cleansing our mind is going to be important. Because I ain't got time to have no alien, spiny little creatures running around. That's insane. Somebody says it's Satan's spawns. Alien Romus Remus. When you say Alien Romus Remus, they remind me of Maximus Decimus for some reason. Yep, lies and deception. Somebody said I'm reading y'all comments. So evil. Satan is at hard work. Thanks for bringing this info, Steve. Definitely, I have to bring this info. I have to. There is no other choice. This is research I do for hours and hours. Just basically the whole time, though, my mental aspect of it is that no matter what we see, we can't let it shake our faith. Stay in prayer. Stay strong. We stay bonded as a family together as we're going through this process. No matter what happens, I keep coming back with information. You start bringing me information as well. And remember, the thing was biting through the paper. So we still haven't got more information on that sample yet. So what we're going to do is compare two different samples. We're going to see what Mike Adams brings out, and then we're going to go back to the other sample where we've seen the thing eat through the paper after a couple of weeks. So we don't know if it's spitting acid, because one of the scientists that came on the channel said that could be what it is. It could be shooting some acid out of it. So imagine what that would do in the human body. So we don't, again, if we kill these things in the early forms, using frequency, using all this stuff, like we told you, the right frequency, 1150 was for parasites. And not just using that, but also just getting all this stuff out of our body, all the stuff I was telling y'all about, how I was using it over the course of years. And the thing is, like, I never want that stuff to come back, ever. So I continuously, like, honestly, I'll tell you, I'm probably detoxing. Like, sometimes if I go, this is my main thing. If my body, like in my lower intestine, if I start to feel a weird, just like, let's say a sharpness, like let's say I went to a restaurant or somewhere, instantly after that, and then most of the times I'll just take it out there anyway, because I can't trust these places out here. I really can't. Not everybody has the ability to eat at some place where, you know, you got a farm. Unfortunately, I can't. But when I get that sharp pain, I instantly go and take the black walnut, the dandelion root together, and then I'll take the colloidal later at night. That's the combo package right there for me. And again, like I said, all this stuff is mentioned in my ebook, where I get down to everything I do and how often I do it. But I never overdo it though. Like, so like in a month, I might do it maybe like 2 times max. Only 3 times if something huge, like crazy freaking happened and I just had to. But mainly like 2 times max, because you don't want to overdo it. But the good thing is like I'm not hard detoxing to where like all of my minerals are coming out and then I got to replenish them. So that's not what I'm doing. Read some in the comments here. Somebody says, wonder if blue liquid glows like luciferase. That's actually really a good thing we need to do next. So if we get some more of these samples, we're going to have to like get a UV light over that, see if it's glowing, see if something like that happens. Somebody says a mind control parasite. Listen, the more knowledge we have, the more power we have, the more abilities we say, hey, I declare right now, if every last one of you say this, I declare that my soul is not yours. I declare that none of these entities or creatures can take over my body. I declare right now, in God's name, if you say Jesus, none of this can destroy us. None of this can be a part of our biological process. And every ounce of our body, we reject it, and then we take action. And as soon as we take that action, none of this is really going to be that effective against us. And so I think there is one other huge thing that I was researching, though, that I'm going to come up and tell you about later. I can't tell it right now because it's more pieces I need to put to it, but it's really going to be something that really helps us out, like in literal lifetime. All the research I do has to help you out in lifetime. Now, there's like, I can't play around and just show videos, react, or do stuff like that's over with. It's just all about like, how do we grow? How do we get better? How do we get in a better mind state, spiritual state in general, body, all of that. So it's going to be, that's what it's going to be about here. So if you get the message out to people, tell them what JWTV is doing, tell them how we're fighting for everybody's bodily and mental situation right now, and we're just exposing the dark elements of what's happening all around us, because this is the mission right now. And I believe that every last one of you here are here for a reason. And if you are here for a reason, Share this video out, get it to more people, mass, far and wide, cross email, cross text messages. This video should be going everywhere across the night. And a lot of people should be in a better position once they see it. Some people need to be investigated. We put those people in the videos. We need to actually get down to the fine wine of what's happening. And if you're new, again, you'll see videos where I linked here where I'm breaking down the frequencies, everything DARPA is doing and how we beat that with solutions. And if you want that ebook, that link will be right below in the comment sections and underneath this video. Much love to everybody here, and we'll have much